Hello all and welcome to Duplicate Success International Monday Night Webinar. Today is Monday, February 15th. My name is Randy Krebs, Executive Goal Director from Salt Lake City, Utah. I have the distinct honor of introducing the host of tonight's webinar. He's a very well-respected business leader and mentor in this industry. You'll definitely want to have your pen and paper out, sitting up, paying attention, and taking notes as you learn how this industry expert continues to build his business successfully. He has achieved the rank of Executive Ruby Director within our company. He is the co-founder of Duplicate Success International. He is an amazing leader, mentor, and most importantly, I'm very proud to call him my son. Jared, are you on the line?
I am, Dad. Thank you so much for the great introduction. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Welcome, everybody, to the webinar. We have a big treat for you tonight. We have a special guest. Of course, my computer likes to reset there. We have a special guest that's with us tonight, Executive Ruby Director Lindsay Hardy, who is going to share with you all kinds of great tips, strategies, her amazing story. And I just want to get into a few of the housekeeping things before we get into that. We actually have some great recognition to do. And I want to welcome all the new people that are on our webinar tonight for the first time. I know that there's several of you I've spoken with, so welcome. And I just want to start by saying that there's 4 keys to being successful in this type of a business. Number 1 is to get in state. Read your goals, visualize your dreams twice daily with emotion. I do that first thing when I wake up. I visualize my dreams and goals. I actually read my affirmation statements in the morning when I'm brushing my teeth, and that changes everything in my day. And I also do that at night, twice a day. Always keep your why in front of you. Number 2, use the products every day, AM and PM. Be a product of the product. Number 3, read, watch, or listen to 15 minutes of personal development material daily. If you're on this webinar right now, you're getting that in, but 15 minutes minimum, and reading is the best. Leaders are readers. And number 4, add 2 brand new people to your contact list daily and invite them with a text message or call. And they say 2 a day brings freedom your way. That's very, very true, because at the end of the day, this is really about inviting and helping other people. And so here's a simple script that we give, that we use with our team. And in fact, I've sent this out twice today to warm market friends of mine. And it basically says, the company I work with part-time came out with a new 12-minute YouTube video. We need to practice it on some friends. Would you be willing to watch it and let me call you afterwards to ask a few questions? And that little script works because it's really non-threatening, and it just lets people, it's like, okay, I'll look at it, and then they can decide if they want to learn more after that. And this is the video that we send. It's usana.teamdsi.info. That's the quick link we've created. But this 12-minute video is lights out. It explains the entire USANA company and opportunity in 12 minutes, and it's perfect for a brand new person to watch. And here is the I guess you could call this the zoomed in version if you want to screenshot that script I just sent. Okay, so now let's get into some team recognition, because these people have been doing the DMO. When you're bringing in brand new clients and associates, you are definitely doing those 4 things every day. So let's recognize, first of all, our new clients. I want to give a big welcome to Albert Martinez, new client introduced by Renee and Megan Martinez. And they got started just this last week with both my health packs, him and his lovely wife. Also, welcome Brad Whitlow, new client introduced by Jade Matthews-Fochik. And Brad is actually Jade's stepdad, and he got started with a My Health pack as well, and actually got a bunch of shakes and a bunch of great product and became an associate. He's a referral partner. So welcome, Brad. Also, welcome Sandra Wilkie, new client introduced by Jade Matthews-Fochik. Great job, Jade. Also, welcome Carrie Balkar, new client introduced by Jade Matthews-Fochik. So amazing work, really, Jade, on your first week. That's a great way to start your business. Okay, now let's go into recognition of a rank advancement. Well, go figure. Jade Fochik from Pleasanton, Texas. She enrolled a week ago, held a home event, invited a bunch of people over, helped a brand new, 4 new clients get started last week. One became an associate. She's pictured there with her beautiful daughter, Taylor. I also got to meet Jade's husband. His name is Jay. And they're just an awesome couple out there in Pleasanton, Texas. So big congratulations to you, Jade, for a great start in USANA. We're very proud of you and look forward to continue to work with you and seeing you achieve more and more with the company. Also, I want to give a big shout out to lifetime premier paysetters, Carlos and Isha Annis from San Antonio, Texas. They actually just qualified last week for that. And what that means is that they will receive a 10% matching bonus on the premier platinums they create for life in their USANA business. And that's a great bonus. It's a great way to start your business. We're really proud of you, Carlos and Isha. Great job. And I continue to look forward to working with you. And I know you're going to do big things with the company. You already are. And I want to get to some special recognition now. And I think we actually have her on the line, possibly both Amy and Jade. But there is a VIP dinner and a VIP, what they call it, lounge access, luncheon for the Challenge You event that's coming up this weekend in San Antonio. Amy Gonzalez qualified for that VIP status, which means she got 10 points. It means that she's going to be sitting in the front with all the VIPs. She's going to have cold Rev 3 during the event. She's going to be able to mastermind with the $1 Million Club. And also, I guess there's a VIP lounge access. It sounds a lot like convention. Amy is a single mother of a beautiful 12-year-old daughter named Brianna. And she's also a school teacher, and she is my salsa dance partner. She does amazing dancing as well. Amy, are you on the line? Dad, is Amy able to be on the line?
Well, she's on. She needs to unmute herself.
Okay.
Amy? There we go.
Amy, how are you?
Not yet. Amy?
It's like you hit the button and you have to wait a second because it delays before it unmutes.
I got Renee Megan unmuted as well.
Okay. Well, let's start with Renee and Megan while Amy's working on getting unmuted. Renee and Megan, you guys won the limo dinner. Congratulations. That's so exciting.
You guys there? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. No, because it's kind of funky on my computer.
Okay. Yes, we hear you loud and clear. So, first of all, I want to give big props to not only you and Renee for qualifying for the limo dinner, but also you brought a team member. You had a team member get the 15 points and qualify for this. Megan and Renee, can you share with the team what is helping your team members grow and share with us a little bit about how you're supporting your team.
It's just me right now, Jared. So I'm just gonna, I guess, just making sure that, just keeping up with them, making sure they're hosting mixers every week or, as often as they can. Being just real supportive, with their businesses and giving them confidence and, just being there for them, however they need us.
That's awesome. So what I hear you saying is doing consistent mixers with them.
Yeah, consistent mixers. But Shay and Matt, they've been working really hard. Shay's been doing a lot of I guess recruiting, you could say, and she's really kicking butt. So me and Renee are really proud of her, for just kind of doing it on her own. But we try to just constantly hold mixers and making sure that they're doing things the way they should be, or just helping them if they when they need us.
Awesome.
Just having their
just having their back and staying up close. It sounds like staying close to them on their events and stuff.
Yeah, and we try. I mean, it's not like we're in contact every day, but with our schedule, we try to keep in contact with them as much as possible.
Awesome. Well, big congratulations to you and Renee, and also to Shay and Matt for qualifying for the limo dinner. I cannot wait for it on Friday.
super excited.
Awesome. Thanks, Megan.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Jared.
Yes. All right. Now, is Amy able to unmute herself?
Oh,
Amy Gonzalez, are you there? Okay, we're having technical difficulties with Amy. Not quite sure why. But I want to brag on Amy as well because she's done an amazing job, and Shay and Matt. Everybody's doing a really good job. So I'm proud of what, 5 of you that are going to be at this event in the VIP status. We're going to have an amazing time. All right, so let's move on to the top 25 preferred customer enrollers. Diane Hecht, number 10. Wow, Diane. And Shay Huggins, number 21. Wow. Being in the top 25 preferred customer enrollers, that is an accomplishment. And that's the top people in the whole United States. So great work, both Diane and Shay. We're very proud of you, and keeps going. And then here's another one, top 50 associate sponsors, 32 in the United States market. Shay Huggins, you are doing amazing. I'm so proud of you. I've been watching you grow. I've been watching you learn and take action on your own. And now you're enrolling all kinds of people on your own and helping. Brand new associate with Jade growing in your business and just volume points everywhere. So really, really proud of you. Shay, keep up the amazing work helping others. You're doing great. Lastly, I want to give some recognition to the Week 4 Reset Challenge participants. So we have our very own Becky and Betty, and they are actually the team called Playful Again. So in the Week 4 Global, okay, in the team, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, number 8 in the world as far as percentage of weight loss. And it is very competitive. So they are doing an amazing job sticking to their goals, going for their dreams, and making it happen. So way to go, Becky and Betty. Becky Armstrong, Betty Meyer, we're very proud of you. Also, Betty Meyer is top in North America, number 8 in North America as well in percentage of weight loss in females. So again, big congratulations, Betty. We have one other slide that we don't, or another team member who's like top male percentage weight loss. We don't have his picture, but we will next week. Wayne Martin was, I think, number 6 in the global or in the North America standings for percentage weight loss male. So we have 3 team members that are in the running for the big prizes at Sonavive. So keep up the great work, Becky, Betty, and Wayne. Oh, and then there's their team in North America. Okay, so you're 7 in North America. So again, Becky and Betty, love it. So proud of you. Keep going. That's right. We're 4 weeks through, so I guess we have 8 weeks left. And I know a lot of us are doing the Reset Challenge because look at this big list of names. That's all of our team that's doing the Reset Challenge. Really proud of everyone for going for it, making healthy habits. And, geez, if we were to add up all the weight that's being lost, I'm sure we would have a very big number just on our team. But it just gets really impressive, especially at the end of the 12 weeks. So I want to encourage everyone on this list to keep going, stay focused, keep eating right, keep working out, doing your best, and we're all going to get there together. When you add somebody to the Reset Challenge, I want to encourage you to add them to our private group. It's called 2016 USANA Reset Challenge. Add them right there in the red box. Also, go ahead and put a post and welcome them. And here's where you can post pictures of yourself working out, post pictures of your shakes, post pictures of things you're doing, and build the group. Also, make sure you've done the True Health Assessment because you need that if you're going to win prizes on the Reset Challenge. So that's another big point is if you have not done the True Health Assessment, you need to do that at truehealthassessment.com. Lastly, the USANA Clients page is a private Facebook group for our for our clients. When you enroll a brand new client, make sure you add them to the USANA Clients page by adding them right there to the group, making a post, posting their picture, welcoming them to the team, because when you encourage them and you put them into a community, now you're going to have retention because people stay for the feel, people stay for the cause, people stay for the friends. And that's a difference. That's why people are going to stay with you in USANA versus just going and buying some other supplement. So USANA Clients page is a great way to build that community. When you enroll a brand new associate, also add them to Team DSI This is our private Facebook group for our business side. Same thing. You add them right there. You make a post with their picture, add them, welcome them to the team. And lastly, when you have a new associate, this is associates only, Hybrid Solutions. This is a group of over 6,000 USANA associates all over the world. Add them there, make a post, and welcome associates only to this page. And this is a great group because you have access to USANA associates from all the 20 different countries around the world, and lots of great friends. If you need a good product story, you can actually search the group and you can look for, like a story about diabetes or asthma or whatever. Now, USANA is not a cure for those things, but you can type that in there and find other people who've taken the products and get some good stories. Okay, guys, now we're on to the main event. I'm excited for this speaker because I've watched her grow over the last several years, and now she's at the executive Ruby status, 6-figure earner with USANA. She's not only that, Lindsay Hardy from Atlanta, Georgia. She is also a certified health coach, certified personal trainer. She believes in health from the inside out, and she's an executive Ruby director with USANA. She was the Growth 25 last year, meaning that she was in the top 25 fastest growing associates in North America. And she won an all-expense paid trip on a 7-day Caribbean cruise, actually 8-day because she got the extra day for being in the Growth 25, or extra 2 days. She's just an awesome person. I know her on the cruise. She's a 6-figure earner. And most importantly, she's a mother of 3 beautiful kids and a football coach's wife, which if you know anything about football, you have to be a special person because your husband is out there coaching those teams and doing lots of things for the team. And you have to have a team-oriented spirit, and that's definitely what Lindsay Hardy has. She's made some time to be on this call with you and I tonight. And that's also teamwork because this is not her team. She's taking time out of her busy schedule to share her story. This is a picture of her and her family. And I love this. I got this from her Facebook page. It says, "Pursue your passion and create a life you love." That's a quote from the Bible, Jeremiah 29:11. It's beautiful, family, Lindsay. So I want to bring Lindsay onto the webinar. And it says that, okay, she's on her phone. So Dad, could you please unmute Lindsay?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I want to make sure.
Let's
I'm on
see.
the.
I hear a car in the background, Dad, so you might have unmuted somebody different.
I wonder if there's 2 of me on.
Could be.
Let me just go back to the computer real quick, and if it cuts me off, I'll come back to it.
No problem.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Loud and clear. Can you hear me? Oh.
I've unmuted her computer. I didn't know she was on the phone. What's her phone number?
Her phone number starts with the area code 770.
Okay.
I'm on. I can hear y'all.
That's unmuted as well.
Okay. So why don't you mute my original, the computer one, and then leave me off on the phone.
Okay, done.
Sorry, y'all. I wanted to make sure it didn't cut me off right when we were in the middle of talking, and it said, "My bandwidth is not clear. You better call in on the phone." So I had to do that while y'all were recognizing. Well, thank you so much for having me on tonight. I'm really excited to be here and very honored to share some information and my story with y'all. And I'm glad you're from Texas, so we don't have to, translate the y'all thing because we all get that, right?
Of course we do.
Yes, awesome. Well, thank you for that great introduction, and I loved hearing how much success your team is having. It's so fun to just see all the success across the USANA families, and especially with the Reset Challenge, and I love seeing everyone's health improved as well. Well, a little bit about me. He told y'all a brief, some stuff, but those are my accomplishments in USANA. I grew up in Georgia, so I grew up in Savannah, Georgia, and was always just real active and loved being outside. And when I was 13, I actually developed an eating disorder, which is a huge part of my story because I really think that that's what led me down the path of wanting to help people get healthy. So I struggled, I'm very type A OCD, so I struggled with anorexia, not severe enough where I had to be hospitalized, but I lost a lot of weight. I was a competitive runner and athlete through college, so I never really took care of my body. I looked fine on the outside, but I wasn't really healthy on the inside. I actually went to Chicago for college, which is ultimately how I ended up meeting Jordan Kemper, and most of y'all know who Jordan is. He is my direct sponsor. So my husband and I met in college, and then we graduated, and my husband said, I really feel like I'm being called to go into football coaching. And he ended up coaching at Wheaton, which is where Jordan played football. So Jordan, my husband was actually Jordan's football coach. And I met Jordan. I'm 7 years older than Jordan. I'm 38, oh my gosh. Anyway, but I met Jordan. He was playing football, and I had, at that time, my kids were 4, 2, and baby. And he had just started USANA, and he came up and he said, hey, I think you'd be really interested in going to this meeting with me. And it was a meeting in Naperville. I think Dr. Hirschcheck was there. The Shonuses were there. And I thought, great, I'll learn about nutrition. I had no idea it was about USANA and supplements, but I was actually getting certified as a personal trainer at that time. And I thought, great, I'm going to go to this meeting. And I took a notepad and took notes. And it was kind of awkward because I'm like, here I'm going to a meeting with one of my husband's football players. And so it's not that I didn't respect Jordan. It's just he was 20 years old. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go and learn. But I actually, to be honest, I felt a little tricked when I got there because I'm like, oh, they want me to sign up in a business. So I think from the beginning, I think being not that he did anything wrong. I'm just saying, like, make sure you're honest, because I think it gave me a little bit of a negative in my first impression. But of course, he was like a senior in college and just getting started in this business. But as they say, if it's the right person, it doesn't really matter what happens or, what you do. So then I ended up I was actually curious, and I went to another meeting that they had at the college, and then I went and we met at Panera, and we went through the flip chart back then, which is what they had. So that was my first exposure to USANA. I actually went back to my friends, and they were like, Lindsay, you don't need supplements. We don't need vitamins. We don't need any of that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, I just take a cheap Walmart vitamin. That's fine. We didn't have a lot of money. I was staying at home with my 3 kids. My husband was at a Division III college. You don't make a lot of money coaching football. But we were fine. We were happy. I was content. But it wasn't like I could go get manicures and pedicures whenever I wanted or travel without our families when we wanted to. So anyway, I said no. I said no to Jordan, and he was very devastated, I think, and bummed because I had so many exposures and he'd invested so much time into inviting me. But I said no, and we ended up moving back to Georgia. So let's fast forward 3 years. I was doing some personal training just like more as a hobby. With having 3 little kids, I thought, this is where it comes in. I didn't have enough time to really make personal training a business because I had to pick up my kids at school or take them to preschool. I didn't have the time, and I didn't want to put my daughter in daycare all day. That was why I was staying home. And as a trainer, you don't make a lot of money either. So it was October of 2010. My daughter, who is my youngest, so I have 2 boys and a girl. My oldest is now in 8th grade, going into 9th grade. Oh my gosh, he's a boy. And then I have another boy who's in 6th grade, and then my daughter's in 4th. So they're all 2 years apart. So when my daughter was going to preschool, I was like, I got to find something to do, it wasn't really the money. Funny enough, we weren't making that much money, but it wasn't the money. It was just like I knew I needed something to do. I'm not one of those people that wants to spend my days walking around Target, or decorating my house. And the funny thing was, at that point in my life, I felt like I had become very self-focused. Because I have OCD tendencies, in that I was thinking too much. Like, I remember having thoughts about like, oh, I don't like the way I look, like all the time. And I was, because I didn't have something I was pursuing that was getting me out of myself. And you're going to hear as I talk about my story and what I struggled with in USANA, what I've done to overcome that, how I've become successful, that all these things are important because it's a holistic business. It's a holistic health. And so I brought into this business some very, without really realizing how much the business was going to change me for getting out of myself. I did bring in some very self-focused, kind of some I think people that are hard on themselves, you can have some negative, self-image type things. So I remember struggling with that summer, and it was October of 2010. I'm a journaler, so I actually could go back. I have 20 journals. I pray in my journals. I write in my journals like almost every day. And I was praying. I was like, God, what do you want me to do? I need something to do, but I really, 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 really don't want to go back to work. I had some opportunities for some jobs, but every time I started looking into one, it was like, no, I can't do that. Like, I'm not going to give up being a stay-at-home mom. I don't like to work for other people. I am not a good employee. I'm not at all. I don't show up on time. Like, don't ever hire me. Like, I need to be an entrepreneur and in charge of my own schedule. I want to go to the gym when I want to go to the gym. I don't like people telling me what to do. Always been that way. So I am respectful, but I just, I need to be, I didn't realize that I had that in me, but I needed to be an entrepreneur. So every time I looked at an opportunity, I'm like, hey, this is not going to work. So anyway, I get this call all of a sudden one day out of the blue from Mallory Studebaker. Now, Mallory Studebaker is the wife of Andy Studebaker. You may have heard of Andy. He's Jordan's college roommate. He now he's been in the NFL, I don't know how many years now, like 10. He actually played football at Wheaton. My husband was one of his coaches too, wasn't his direct coach. We don't take responsibility for him being in the NFL. But Andy's wife had gone to convention, and you're going to hear me weave in the importance of events. Andy and his wife weren't building the business seriously. Andy had started with Jordan. He was one of his, I think, if not the first associate, one of his first associates in USANA. And then got drafted for the NFL, and so he wasn't focused on building the business. But one year, Mallory went to convention, and I am so thankful that she went to convention, because I think if she hadn't gone to convention, I don't know if I would have gotten that phone call that October day. So she calls me, and I'm like, Mallory, how are you? It's so good to hear from you. And sorry, someone's texting me. So it's like, it's so good to hear from you. And she's like, hey, and we chatted a little bit. And then she said, I just really think you would be great at this USANA business. And immediately I like put up a wall, and I'm like, oh my gosh, no, do not talk to me about this again. No, this cannot be happening. And I could not tell her no. And I will tell you, the whole time we were on the phone, I'm like, it wasn't smooth. It wasn't a Jordan Kemper presentation. She was struggling. I knew she was struggling. I'm like, she does not feel comfortable, right? So again, you don't have to be perfect. But she invited me to take a look. And if she had not called me that day, y'all, I can't even imagine, because this has changed my life in so many ways. So I am so, so grateful that she got up the courage, that she went to convention, and then that probably gave her the courage to call me. I think Jordan was behind it, the whole thing too. I was like, did you put her up to that? Anyway, so she calls me, she says, take a look. And I'm like, I don't want to take a look. I'm very stubborn. And then my mom's like, Lindsay, my mom's always right. She's like, Lindsay, you need to take a look, and you need to keep an open mind and just do some research. What if this is what you're supposed to do? And I'm like, I don't think it's what I'm supposed to do. And so I started doing research, and I was like, I can't find anything negative about their products. This is crazy. So I was doing some personal trading on the side, and I was like, you know what? You asked Jordan, you say, who was the hardest person you've ever signed up in your business? Who gave you the run for your money? It was me. But then say, was it worth signing her up? Yes, it was very worth it. So I was the biggest pain to sign up. And you may have people like that where you're like, they've already told me no, I'm not going to talk to them again. Or they have so many questions, I don't want to deal with them. I don't know how to answer their questions. They're too analytical. I wouldn't consider myself an analytical person. I would consider myself someone I'm such a perfectionist in some ways. I've gotten better at that. But then I was afraid to start something and fail. And so I just wanted to make sure it was exactly what I needed to do. So it took us a month, and I would call him, and literally there would be days where I'm like, I don't want to ruin my reputation. My husband's a football coach. And at that time, my husband he's a head football coach now. He had started up a big high school in Georgia. Now we're at a private school. So anyway, I finally said yes. November the 3rd, 2010, I said, and so think about all the things Jordan did to get me to say yes. But y'all, you don't need that many leaders on your team, okay? So, you got to work hard. That's the hardest part. And I said, yes. I said, okay, Jordan, fine. I'm going to do it. And I think he about fell over in his chair, and he's like, what did you just say? You said yes? I said, yes. And I don't think I'd ever spent $700 on something other than our mortgage or, a car or something like that. And I'm like, oh, it's so much money. So I called him the next day, literally. I had signed up. I called him the next day, and I said, Jordan, I think I spent too much money. I don't feel good about this decision. I just don't feel good about the decision. And he's like, it's already shipped out. You can't return it. So I had to go. He wouldn't let me return it. He was just like, we're done, Lindsay. And that's my other problem. I'm very indecisive, like very indecisive. So, and if you think indecision cannot be passed down to your children, it can. I'm not sure if it's genetic or learned, but my oldest son has it, and it's not good. It's not good. So, okay, so I get started in my business. Here we go. I am literally not a business person. I don't know at this point, y'all get this. This is 2010. I stayed home from 2001 to 2010. What happened during that decade? Technology happened, right? So, like, I had no idea. I didn't text people. I was like, I don't need to text people. Why would I need? Texting was so dumb. I love talking to people. As you can't tell, I love talking. So texting to me was, like, pointless. So I didn't know how to text, or I probably could figure it out, but I'd never done it. And it was too expensive anyway. So I didn't know how to use Facebook at all. All I did was, like, you know, that Lindsay is baking cookies right now. Lindsay's cold. Remember how Facebook used to be? Y'all might be too young for that. And then I just didn't know how to do anything, nothing. And I never used these products before. So I'm starting from ground zero. And I'm telling y'all, if I can do this, y'all can do this too. Okay. But I have that attitude. My attitude, I'm not somebody that makes excuses. I don't make excuses. And Danny Johnson always says, you know, excuses are well-planned lies. You either make excuses or you make things happen. And Marie Forleo has a quote. She says, everything is figure-outable. It's all figure-outable. So the things, like, if you follow me on social media now, like, I'm always figuring stuff out, and I'm like, ooh, I like what that person did, or, you know, ooh, I like how she worded that. Like, I'm just figuring things out, and I'm growing along the way. So when I started, I really struggled with my belief, and I think, you know, first of all, I didn't have any belief in the product. I remember the Reset, which is what I built my business off of, I thought was so stupid. I was like, who would spend that much money on this little box and stuff? Like, when you can eat real food. Like, I just thought it was stupid. Now I've sold like 600 of them. I think it's the most awesome thing in the world because it changed my dad's life. So it took me a couple months. I didn't get my first check for like 6 or 7 weeks. You know, I didn't, but I think you have to have that attitude of, like, if Jordan Kemper can do this when he's 20 years old, I can do this too. And that's kind of the attitude I had. Jordan was a huge, I don't know what word I want to use right now, but just, Jordan was just a strength for me during my doubts and my struggles that I had in the beginning. I wanted to quit 4 months in, because I was like, this is hard. You know, well, duh, anything worth having is hard in life. I should know that as an athlete. So I think the biggest things for me were belief. So in the beginning, my goal was I wanted to believe in these products because I can't promote or help people or sell, as if we're not selling, we're helping people, but I can't do that without believing in the products. And so for me, it was really important to get a testimony. And that's why I think I would encourage y'all and encourage you for your new associates to find a way to get people on the Reset really quickly, or in something where they're going to get, you know, some pretty quick results. Like, the vitamins can take 3 to 6 months to get really good results. I think our vitamins are amazing. But I think it's critical to get your new associates, to get a family member, friend, somebody on the Reset so that they can have their own personal testimony. In the beginning, I used Jordan Kemper's mom's testimony and Dr. Hirschek's wife's testimony. If you need more testimonies, get on the phone and talk to people. Go to events. That's why it's so important to go to events, because you're going to hear testimonies at those events that you'll be able to share with your clients in the future. I have testimonies in my head that I heard 4 years ago that they come out when I'm like, oh my gosh, you have the same problem that person had. So that's really critical. Well, my mom did the Reset. She was my first person, and my mom struggled with her weight for a long time, actually still does. And she said, I want to do the Reset. And I was like, here, take it. I literally gave it to her because I'm like, I don't know. I need to believe in this. Like, just take it. And I didn't have any money, but I gave it to my mom anyway because I knew how powerful that would be if I had my testimony. My mom lost 10 pounds on the Reset, and she's like, oh, my gosh. You know, I don't need to tell you all how awesome the Reset is, but her results were just amazing that I wanted to go out and tell everybody. And then my dad, after Christmas, so this was by January now, I'm still building my belief. My dad's like, okay, I'm going to start the Reset with your mom to help, you know, support her. Well, I didn't even realize how much weight my dad needed to lose. My dad is he's 6'4", he's like 270. He was 275. He got down to 229 on Reset and Transform. But I didn't even realize he needed it so much. So he starts losing weight. By 2 weeks in, he's down 15 pounds. He's like, my cravings are going away. He was like, I don't know if I like this, because he loves to eat. So he's like, I like having my cravings. I'm like, no, you don't, Dad. No, you don't. So anyway, he was so funny. They both lost 50 pounds by the time of my sister's wedding. And that to me was huge. And I always tell people, like, I was so like, oh my gosh, when you help somebody you love, like that's dear to you, you want to go out and tell the world. And my very first social media post with USANA, I was so nervous, as I wrote, this is all I said, okay, is my mom and dad lost 10 pounds on the reset. It didn't have a fancy, I didn't have an iPhone. That's all I knew how to do, type some words in. But it shows the power of a testimony. And so, if you follow me, I do a lot of social media, but testimonies are so important, more than you talk about the facts in your business. And that was something I think that the first year of my business, I would just like testimony, then I would get more people on the reset. Then I would share their testimonies. Then I would get more people on the reset. And then I would share their testimonies. And I realized that people didn't care so much about what the reset was as much as would it help it get them the results. And Darren Hardy said that at convention last year. He said, sometimes we focus too much on the facts and the products as much as we got to focus on the results. So my first year in my business, I really, what I did is I wanted to get them on the phone. And this doesn't always work for everybody. So if I posted something and I said, my mom and dad lost 10 pounds on the reset, and someone would reach out to me and say, what's the reset? We didn't really have a great video at that time. I didn't like it, at least. So I was like, well, I just need to get you on the phone. So I would just say, hey, you know what? I would love to get you on the phone for 15 minutes and find out what your health goals are. And that usually worked. Sometimes people were too busy, but it usually worked because some of these people were my mom and dad's friends. I didn't know them personally, and I'd be nervous. So I got them on the phone, and the first question, I still do this to this day, even if I'm messaging them through Facebook, I don't send them a link to the reset, okay? Because I want them to be a lifetime customer with me. I want them to buy what I can help them with and what I can offer them with. So I do take the time to really connect emotionally with people in person. Some other people don't do that, and they build successful businesses, so it doesn't mean you have to. But I always get them on the phone, and we small talk a little bit, and then I just say, usually, like, if I have it, they'll be, like, friends from high school, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, I don't even know what's going on in your life. I'll stalk them on Facebook a little bit, like, do they have kids, where do they live? And then I'll just say, hey, so tell me first, what are your health goals? And that's just a really simple question you can ask them, what are your health goals? And then they start talking, like, well, I want to lose weight. Well, how much weight? And you just start digging a little bit deeper. You don't need to know a lot, but the important thing is that you don't need to tell them everything about reset, right? All I need to know is, what do they want to accomplish? What do they want to accomplish? If they want to lose weight, what if I start telling somebody that the reset's going to help them with their sugar cravings, but they're like, I don't have sugar cravings? Well, that would be dumb. That's wasting your time, and it's not making sense to them because they're like, well, why are you telling me it's going to help me with sugar? I don't have sugar cravings. So you got to find out, what are they struggling with? Do they need to get off of diet, drink Coke or whatever? Or do they have sugar cravings? Are they eating too many chips? I don't know. Like, I try to find that stuff out. And then I explain the reason. The transition question I always use is, are you familiar with the glycemic index? And usually they say yes, well, no. And I'm like, okay, it's just like a roller coaster. And I say it really fast. I'm like, listen, the purpose of reset is to balance your blood sugars because it's going to help you. And I say it's going to help you whatever they told me they needed help with, right? Because really, when you balance your blood sugars, it helps most people with all their health problems. So I make it very specific, and by the time we're done with the conversation, which usually doesn't take but 15 minutes, they're like, okay, how do I get started on this? And that's how we're having a thunderstorm right now. So that's how I built my whole business my first year, and I would get them on the reset. I do a great job with customer service, which I'll go into in a minute. So I want to talk to y'all real quick. The first 4 months of my business were hard. I worked really hard. Jordan told me this, and I think it's really important for you to tell this to your new associates. I always tell it to mine. I say, listen, your first year is going to be hard, okay? Like, we call that educating your expectations. It's going to be hard, and it's going to take some time. And he said, you're going to work harder your first year and feel like you're not getting paid enough, but expect that. So I expected that. I was like, okay, I'm going to work really hard, and I'm going to feel like I'm not getting, yep, that's exactly how I feel. And some days I love USANA, and some days I hate it. And some days I love it, and I was like, bipolar USANA lady. Some days I love it, some days I hate it. But I'm like, but he told me, if I just keep doing this, if I just keep doing what I'm doing right now, that it's going to flip. And then it's going to come a time where there's weeks where I get paid a lot more than I should, and I didn't quite work as much as I should have to get paid that much. And that happened to me last week. And that actually happened to me, I remember in November, the first week that happened to me, I was like, oh my gosh, like I just made a lot of money that week and I was on vacation. So I think it's really important to really educate your team's expectations. And I think because I do that, my team, they don't get frustrated when they're like, oh my gosh, I'm working really hard and I don't feel like I'm getting paid enough, right? But I also tell them, like any traditional business, it takes like 3 years to break even. So you're doing good. You're doing good. So I think the other thing was those first few months, Jordan came down and trained me. We did a, I think somebody on your team just did that. You said you were just recognizing her. I think it was Allie. I was trying to get on the phone, so I wasn't quite listening to everything, but doing a kickoff event is great. We had about 20 people over to my house. I think that was how I went platinum. And then he came down again, but I was by myself. Like there's not a lot of people in Atlanta. We don't have a huge team, huge support group. So I was kind of by myself, which was actually good. It forced me to get creative and to figure out how I wanted to build my business. Then Michael Kaehas, who's amazing, came down and he trained a group of us. And I came home that day, and I don't know if he's still doing this, but he was doing Saturday meetings and live events. And I came home that day, and I was crying, and I'm like, I cry a lot. Y'all think I'm happy all the time. I'm not. I was like, I can't do this business. I can't do one-on-ones like Jordan does, because he was doing newspaper presentations all the time. And I was like, and I can't do events on Thursdays and Saturdays because my kids have sports. And I know there's some other moms on here, or people that want to be moms, or maybe you're married to a mom, whatever. But it's like I had to figure out a way to build this business that would work for me. And that's the beautiful thing about USANA is that there's no right or wrong. Like you're going to take some things that I tell you tonight and apply them to your business, but you're not going to build your business just like I do, right? And you may find somebody that you're like, I want to build my business like them, learn from them, follow them, ask them questions. I have people that they're like, I want to build my business like you, but I'm always like, don't be me. Like you're never going to be me and I'm never going to be you. You have to be okay with who you are and be unique. I think Kate Northrup and Mike posted a video on Facebook yesterday and they were just talking about confidence and that comparing yourselves to other people can really be a challenge. So I just want y'all to realize that what I took away from that is that when I started kind of doing things a little differently than Jordan at first, and he would say this to y'all too, he was like, well, that's not how we build our business. I think you need to be doing more one-on-ones. And I was like, Jordan, I can't. Like, and it's not an excuse. It's just with the way my schedule works, and I'm basically a single mom in the fall, I can't do that. I have to build online. I have to build this way. And then eventually he started watching me grow, and he's like, oh, dang, that's actually really working. So there's different ways to build, and I think figuring out what works for you. And also what you wake up, enjoy, you got to wake up and love what you're doing. You've got to like I wake up and I love what I do. So building your beliefs by going to events, getting on conference calls like this, learning from other people, using the products, that's so important. Emotional stability. You've got to be able to balance your emotions. They should not be like the glycemic roller coaster, up and down, up and down. As an entrepreneur, that's something you have to grow into. And I think partly it's just, again, it's going to happen. You're going to be down, you're going to be up, you're going to be down, you're going to be up. They say some of the best entrepreneurs have ADD because it's just like all over the place. But you have to learn to balance that. And I think one of the keys to balancing that, what I've learned, is that I have to make sure my funnel is full. And by that, I mean that, on your contact list, or I keep a contact notebook. I used to keep a list, and then I'd be like, where'd that list go, right? You lose your list. You got to get a notebook, like a nice notebook that's not going to, like a journal, like something big that you could keep for 5 years, okay? Because you want to be able to go 4 years, you want to be like me, and then go back to that person 3 years later and say, oh my gosh, I need to call. I haven't talked to her in 2 years. So get a big notebook. But if your contact notebook is full of people, you're not going to feel desperate all the time when somebody says no or not right now, because you've got more people to talk to, right? And that's so important. I could spend like an hour talking on that. So make sure your contact list is full. And then I want to talk about time management. In the beginning, I struggled with, because I have OCD tendencies. I'm being very honest with you all tonight. You're going to be like, wow, she's not who we thought she was. OCD can be actually very good, but what happened was I was like, once I started USANA, I was like, forget my family. I am all USANA. I was up till like 1 at night. Like, I gotta make this work. Even today, I'm like, chill yourself, Lindsay, chill. Because my head is always circulating with ideas. And I have to be like, shut it off, turn it down, protect your time, set boundaries. It's so important because this business can suck the life out of your brain if you let it. So I think in order to be a successful entrepreneur, you've got to find that balance and create that time management. And one of the things that I know that y'all have, we use on our team, and I've been really implementing with my team, is the weekly action plan. I will say that I used the weekly action plan the first couple of years of my business. I did not. I tried, and then I stopped. And but I came back this January, and I'm like, everybody, we're doing the weekly action plan. And that will help you so much. So what I would recommend doing is taking your weekly action plan, printing off 52 of them, so a whole year worth. Just do it. I don't care how much printer ink it costs. You can deduct it off your taxes. Print off 52 weekly action plans. Get a binder. I have like a 1.5-inch binder. Probably don't need that much unless you want to keep them for a couple of years, which actually is not dumb either. So get a binder, buy a 3-ring hole punch. They're like $5 at the wherever, Walgreens, and put them all in there, okay? You're set for the year. So you're not going to go, oh, where's my weekly action plan? Oh, no, I have to go print it off. And so then you don't do it. So get your binder set up. Like, do that this week. Print off your weekly action plans and then start using them. This will help you so much with time management, with efficiency, with seeing results, because ultimately if you want your business to grow, you've got to focus on income-producing activities. We could spend all day scrolling through Facebook, and there's days I do that because I'm not working my plan. Do your weekly action plan on Sunday night or Monday morning. Fill in your hours, fill in your CVP goals, fill in the people you're going to contact, and then work that plan every day. You don't have to work for 40 hours a week to be successful. I don't work for 40 hours a week. I got craziness going on in my life. But I do something every single day, and I think I've done something every day. Unless you go on vacation, I think it's important to take vacation and take a day off every week. Like, shut your phone off, take a day off. It's really important. But you know what I mean. I'm talking like, don't just work 7 hours on Sunday and not the rest of the week. You need to do something every day, whether it's personal development, inviting someone, sending out a video, the new video like y'all just talked about. So whatever that is, do your weekly action plan and work your weekly action plan so that you're really successful. It's kind of like if you're going in the gym and you're working out and you go in there and you're like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do today. And you kind of wander around and then you talk to people and you go to the bathroom and then you're like, I didn't really get a good workout, but it took you like an hour. Or you can go in the gym with your plan and you can get a really good workout in 30 minutes. And that's what you need to do. So during your power hour, you don't need to use your power hour to plan what you're doing. Your plan should be done, or at least started. You can add things to your plan. But the power of having it all in a binder is that let's say you have a meeting scheduled for 2 weeks out, then you can go ahead and schedule that because you've got it in your binder. You've got your weekly action plan for 2 weeks out. Or let's say you're struggling with coming up with people to contact, follow up with on Sunday night. Look back to the past month. Go through your weekly action plans the past month and say, who did I talk to or who did I forget to talk to? And then put those people on that list. So that will really help you be effective. And I know I think I'm out of time. I want to close on 2 things. So one would be leadership. It is so critical. Being a leader is a huge responsibility, but it's an awesome responsibility. And I know y'all have great leaders, but if you want to be successful in this, you have to learn to become a leader, right? You may not be a leader now, but read John Maxwell books. Read whatever you can to become a leader, because at some point, you have to step up and lead your team. Even if your team has 2 people on it, you need to lead them. You need to go above and beyond to lead your customers and give them really good customer service. One thing I do that people love it when I give them this tip, you don't have to do this, but I have a saved report. It's my PCs on auto order. It's all my PCs on auto order. And every week I look at that list. It tells me whose auto orders are coming up, this weekend. And about Wednesday or Thursday, I send them all a text. I just copy paste the text and I'll personalize it depending on if I know something's going on in their life. Like, hey, Mary, I call it their USANA order. I don't say auto order. I'll say, hey, your USANA order is coming up this weekend. Make sure you update it. Let me know if you need any help with anything. I hope you're doing really well. If I know that something's going on in their life, I'll mention it. But not only does that remind them, even though USANA sends out an email, I'm going above and beyond. It lets me, I call it gently touching. Sounds awkward, but staying in touch with them. They hear from me every month without me, like, I'm not annoying them. I'm actually giving them extra value, and they really appreciate that. And I don't lose customers that way because they don't forget about their order that's going to process. And so that's a little tip. That's something that I do to go above and beyond. And I think as a leader, you've got to get out of yourself. You got to be encouraging. You got to think about what's going on. I have people on my team that are struggling with personal things right now, and I make sure I call them and let them know I'm praying for them or whatever. Those are things that are going to keep your team with you for the long haul, because don't make everything about the business, right? Make sure they know you care about them as a person. And I know you all have an event coming up this week, so events are so powerful. I used to roll my eyes when Jordan would tell me, like, you need to go to convention. I'm like, do you realize that, first of all, I don't have any money. This is my first year. And second of all, that is the first football game of the year. Like, I love football. I love football almost more than anything else. It's not really. It's like fourth on my list, but sometimes I feel like it's first. I'm not going to miss the first football game. I had plenty of reasons not to go to convention, but I said, okay, Jordan, I'm going to go to convention. So I went to convention. Every time I go to convention, my belief grows. You get to know people in the USANA community outside of your team, which is so important to see that other people are doing this. I always get great pictures, and because I use social media, I make albums. I've always had someone sign up in my business because of my convention album. I literally do an album, and I tell a story about convention when I get back, and it's been really powerful. Every year I've had someone join my team. So do you think that paid off? Actually, and the people that join my team are still on my team, and some of them are my top leaders. So, yeah, I mean, yes, it pays off. It's an investment. The other thing is that 2 years, so I'm getting confused, but 1 year I went gold right after convention. The following year I went ruby right after convention. We literally came home, and my team was so fired up, because you got to get your team there too, that we rank advanced right after convention. So I definitely would recommend going to every event that you possibly can. I went to Next Level U and Sweet Retreat this year, and I came back, and that's when I was like, we got to use the weekly action plans. We got to put this in. And my team's texting them to me every week, and I'm seeing I had one of my best weeks last week ever. And I know it's because I went to those events that I came back with some new ideas. So I would really encourage y'all to do that. So I know that Jared wants to open it up for some Q&A, so I'm going to stop talking.
Lindsay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I've been taking
tons
of notes. I just want to share what I've learned so far from you tonight. Some of the big takeaways for me is telling the new people, hey, your first year, it's going to be hard. You're going to work really hard and feel like you're not getting paid enough. I think that's the best thing you can say, so they have the right expectations. Also, I like when you said it's going to flip at some point where you're getting paid a lot and you didn't work that hard. Because
it's so worth it. It's so
right.
worth it.
I've experienced both. And, definitely really good things there. I liked how you said getting people on the reset and getting them a quick result, because if they lose weight fast, then they're going to have a result right away. And I also like what you had to say about time management and, setting time with the family, and then also making sure that you're doing income producing activities, reading John Maxwell books. And convention, of course, I loved that. And my favorite part of your call so far has been how hard of a prospect that you were, Jordan. You were like the worst, man.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Mm-hmm.
And look at you
it's
today.
It's like a miracle. If y'all don't believe in miracles,
The fact that I'm doing USANA, it's a miracle. Seriously.
Yeah,
so if you think there's this person I want on my team, it can happen. It really can.
It really can. Wow. And that's inspiring for me too, because I've come across the Lindsay Hardy type prospects that, maybe I need to call back and go back and call again. So thank you for being vulnerable as well on the call, sharing some things, some struggles you've had to overcome, because everybody has them. We all do. And just appreciate your transparency. So I want to open up, basically, we just have 5 minutes left. So I just want to open it up for one question. Who's the go-getter? Who wants to ask Lindsay a question? You have to raise your hand on the webinar. We have time for one since the webinar ends at 9. Does anybody want to ask a question? Dad, you're in charge on this one.
Sorry, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't talk
Oh
to
no,
him. I did.
totally.
I mean, I did talk to him.
I loved it.
Mm.
Do we have anybody that's raised their hand, Dad, or that wants to ask?
Not that I can see.
Don't
Okay.
be shy.
I don't know if the ones on the phone, we got quite a few on the phone. I doubt if they can raise their hand at this point.
Right. If you're on the phone, text me, and I will. We can unmute your line. So Lindsay, before we get to questions, I'm just going to announce some webinars and events that are coming up, and then if anyone has another question here at the end. So, all right. So let's go into some upcoming. Oh, thank you, Lindsay. You like that slide? Get that just for you. Okay, so 3 health webinars in February. Well, tonight was Dr. Christine Wood at the same time. That was ones I was sending my clients to. Next Monday, Karen Wolf is at the same time. Oh, I got a text. Khalid Medina has a question. All right, Khalid, the question is yours. As soon as we're done with these announcements, we're going to unmute you. So Monday, February 22nd, Dr. Karen Wolf is on Healthy Gut. That's the same time as our team webinar, but I will send my clients to that because it's all about healthy digestion. And then also Thursday, February 25th is, in my opinion, the highlight of the entire month of webinars. That's on women's health by Dr. Ladd McNamara. So here's the info. Monday, February 22nd, Dr. Karen Wolf. If you want to register, you can go to february22nd.teamdsi.info and register for that webinar. That's next Monday. And then next Thursday, February 25th, the link there is february25th.teamdsi.info. Women's health issues and supplementation. Can't miss it. Very, very important. Great information for you and your clients. Get ready for 2016. There's 3 events, big events coming up in 2016. Las Vegas in April, Salt Lake City in August, and Las Vegas in December. So Las Vegas in April is at the Green Valley Ranch Resort and Spa. It's the U.S. National Celebration Awards Gala Dinner. Celebration and Awards Gala Dinner. It's Friday, April 15th and Saturday, April 16th. Renee and Megan Martinez just booked their flights to Las Vegas this week, today. And actually, me and my wife booked our flights to Vegas as well. So, now's the time to start looking into that because this is going to be an amazing event. I'm excited for everyone that's going to go. It's 9 to 5 on Friday. The gala dinner's at night. Lindsay Hardy will be there, right, Lindsay?
For in Las Vegas?
Yes.
This is what happens. I have my 20th year high school reunion, so I'm going to my high school reunion.
Okay, so Lindsay Hardy will not be there, but she'll probably win an award.
But you need to go. Lauren Truman said I was okay to go to my reunion since it doesn't happen that often.
Okay,
yeah.
Totally understand. You've been at every event
I
for the last 7 years.
I have to. I don't go. Yeah, it's sometimes you got to put. Yeah, that one's important. So I got to be there for my friends.
Well, the importance of events, and this event is going to be amazing. Las Vegas. This is a picture of our team at last year's event, and we're going to have dinner together at the gala. And the Saturday is also 9 to 5, and then we'll go off to the Strip and hang out Saturday night in Vegas. The 2-day event pass is $90. The award gala dinner is $49. Contact your sponsor if you want to get all your information and get set up. Where exactly is it at? It's right south of the airport. It's about 10 minutes from the Strip. So it's not too far from everything. You could stay at another hotel if you want it to be cheaper, or you can stay on site by calling this number, and it's $150 a night plus resort fees, so it'd be about $200 a night at the end. But you need that coupon code at the bottom. The most important event of the year is Salt Lake City in August. Lindsay will be at that one.
Yes.
For sure. And that's USANA's International Convention, August 24th through the 27th. That's where the whole an international company comes together. So thousands of people from Mexico, thousands of people from China, thousands of people from Canada, all over the United States. I mean, all 50 states are represented. Close to 10,000 people are there every single year. We take over all of Salt Lake City. Dr. Oz has spoken at our last 4 conventions. This is the most important event of the entire year. And so just mark your calendar, plan ahead. We plan everything a year in advance so you know the dates. We have a lot of team already registered in advance, a year in advance. So we're very proud of each and every one of you for being registered. And you may have a free ticket if you've enrolled in the last year. So contact your sponsor for that information. Las Vegas in December is the last event of the year, December 1st through the 4th. And that's hosted by Eric Worre, Mr. GoPro himself. And he's going to have Tony Robbins there and Richard Branson. And they only allow people on stage who are making 6 figures a month, not 6 figures a year. So this is basically a place to learn from the best of the best. We already have people that have already registered over a year in advance for this as well. And then the bonus trip, you can win it entirely, completely paid for by USANA, totally free. You can win this, or you can win it partially, which is what me and my wife did. We won it partially. Actually, Lindsay won it entirely last year. Great job, Lindsay. Or you can just pay for your own way and go on a vacation with the USANA family. And this is when and where, you may be asking. November 16th through the 20th, Costa Rica Westin Golf Resort and Spa. What an amazing, beautiful trip. These are some bird's eye view of where we'd be staying out there in Costa Rica. Can you imagine visiting with the top USANA leaders, having a pina colada, just having a blast in Costa Rica, staying in these beautiful luxury suites, paid for on USANA's dime? You may be wondering the dates again, November 16th through the 20th, and you might be thinking, well, how do I win this? If you're wondering, go to this video, costarica.teamdsi.info. Watch it. It's a 12-minute video that explains exactly how you can win it by tracking your growth. And basically, you can understand how every year people win the trip, whatever it is. So last year it was a 7-day Caribbean cruise. Lindsay won that completely. I won it partially, and we had a lot of our team members that won it. It's just awesome. So watch that video. Texas Associates this week is Challenge U. The ticket price is $109 actually through today. So if you're wanting to get your ticket and you haven't already, make sure you do because the price goes up tomorrow. And contact me if you want to get a ticket. We can make sure you get, actually, I think I have 2 tickets left at the $79 price if you want to get a ticket. This event is the most important regional event for us because it's in San Antonio. It's in your backyard, February 18th through the 20th. So that's this Thursday is an opportunity presentation. Friday and Saturday is the big training, 9 to 5. They're bringing in 6-figure earners, $1 Million Club members, top USANA scientists. Most important thing you can do in the San Antonio market is be at Challenge U. There's a limo dinner. You saw people who've already qualified for the limo dinner. Very exciting. And also the VIP status, Amy Gonzalez, big congratulations to you. Utah Associates, every Thursday at the home office, we have a health and freedom presentation, and Executive Gold Directors Randy and Viola Krebs speak once a month there. Plan every Thursday to be at USANA home office. If you need Dr. Ladd McNamara CDs, go to laddmcnamara.com. This is the best thing you can give to your clients and associates. It gets them so excited to take their products and stay on their products. You can get a 10-pack from me for $25. Also, my parents, if you need some CDs if you're in that area, or just go to laddmcnamara.com. And then I want to encourage you to be prepared. This is a picture of the bins in the trunk of my car. I keep these full of GoPro books, audios, Power of Cellular Nutrition CDs, USANA newspapers. You never know when you're going to get that opportunity to serve somebody, help somebody with their health. And that's what USANA is all about. So be ready at all opportunities. And I just want to thank you for being on the webinar. We have time for our one question. I've actually gotten texts from several people while we've been talking, Lindsay, so I might try and ask some quick ones. But I want to bring on Khalid Medina. Dad, are you able to unmute Khalid? His phone number is 887. It starts with 210-887.
Okay.
Khalid?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Welcome
cool.
to the call. Tell us, Khalid.
I guess my question would be, Lindsay, do you have any tips on how to find like what works best for you? You know, because I know you mentioned that, you know, Jordan wanted you to do a bunch of one-on-ones. And just had to find what works for you. Do you have like any tips on like how to, you know, find that, because we're all unique and different?
Yeah, I think it depends on, I mean, I think you can always do all. So it's not that I would never do a one-on-one presentation, right? It's just the majority of how I build my business. I build my business online, and really that has to do more with my, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It really has to do more with my time and how much time I have, you know, in my schedule. So that works better for me. So I think that the main ways to build, and again, you can do both. So you can do a combination, but home events, right? Home events are great. I have girls on my team that love doing home events. They love being with people one-on-one, like, or in those settings. So they do small home events where it's a good, 3 to 5 people. So not large home events. Small home events are great. One-on-one newspaper presentations are awesome. And again, like, that can be tough, but if you have a lunch break or schedule, you can do one-on-one presentations. And then I think the biggest, is on building online and doing a lot of over the phone. Like I build online, but I do over the phone. So I think it's really just figuring out what works the best for you. And I don't know if I have like a specific answer on how to figure that out. I think you should just try all of them and see kind of, what gets you excited. But again, you can build online and then do a home event every month too. So there's no, this is right, this is wrong. But I remember feeling guilty, and I talked to Lori Truman, and she's like, it's okay. Like, I'm like, I should do more large events and this and that. Not like large events, like going to them. I go to them, but I'm saying like hosting them. And she's like, no, this works best for you, and this is what you have time to do. It works with my family. So I don't really have a clear answer on how. I would just like anything, like, try your broccoli, see if you like it, right?
Yeah.
And you may not like it at first. You need to do it a lot of times because you don't really ever like anything until you get good at it. So you have to give it enough time to where you can get good at it, And also, what does your network prefer too? Is your network really busy? Do they prefer, to watch a tool, watch a video, and then follow up with you? People are busy these days, so sometimes that works really well too.
Got it.
So
thank you.
try out and see. You're welcome.
All right. And then I have 2 questions. I'm just going to ask them here.
Yeah.
This one's from Amy Gonzalez, who is the one of the VIP winners for Challenge U coming up. And Amy says, my question would be, on those days that you were really down about the business, what did you do to pick yourself back up and keep going forward?
Yeah, and I think this is good. It's a process of having to learn. I'm a talker, so most likely, I'm trying to think back to that first year especially. I pray. That's the first thing. Like I said, I journal a lot. If I try to pray in my head, it gets all wacky. But I'm a journaler, and so I think processing how I'm feeling, so really focusing on what I'm grateful for. And what I did the first year is I would try to say, instead of saying, oh my gosh, my CVP wasn't as good as it should, I focus more on I call it planting seeds. And by planting seeds, I mean, how many people did I share USANA with? How many people did I help this week? And whenever I got down, it was usually because I was getting self-focused, and I wasn't being grateful for the things that had happened. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So what I would try to do is switch my attitude from, is this selfish motivation because I didn't hit a rank advancement or I didn't make this list because that's selfish, or are my motivations good because ultimately I'm doing this business to help people? And that would get me more positive, and I think really help me grow more and have more positive results and I still do that to this day. I have to say, I always have to go and I write in my journal, I'm like, why am I doing this business? To help people. So how many people am I helping this week? Because ultimately, if I'm helping people, then my business is going to reflect that. The money is going to be the second, that's going to come. But if all you do is focus on your CVP and your money, and you're just so wrapped up in that, it's going to come across to the people, and ultimately, I think your business is going to struggle. So that, and I think reaching up to your upline is really important. Jordan was always available and willing to encourage me, talk to me. I remember Dr. Hirschcheck told me once, too, he said, Lindsay, this is a marathon, not a sprint. I'm like, oh, yeah, I ran marathons. I know that. But he always said that during those weeks where maybe he was down a little bit or the business, there weren't things coming at him right and left. Some weeks you have those weeks, other weeks you're like, okay, I can't really get anything going. Just to spend more time in personal development, because anytime you go and listen to something or read a book, that's going to lift your spirits, and help you that way too. So.
Wow, I'm just taking so many notes right now. This is great stuff. Thank you for answering that, Lindsay. And one last question. I got a text from Jason Hander, who's a silver director. They're some of our very best members. And
I know Jason.
Yes, they say
Hi, Jason.
they're on mute on the phone, but they say,
I know.
Ask Lindsay what her personal weekly goals for PCs and associates are.
That's a good question. Usually I set a CVP goal. So like right now, well, my CVP goal, I usually set a CVP goal. You know, gosh, I see this business a lot as like a Lego. I would say it's like, to me, it's like it all grows together. So I see it kind of, I'm trying to help this make sense as a whole picture. And so there's going to be weeks where, yeah, I get 3 to 4 PCs. Maybe we're launching a program, right? And then the next week I'm spending more time coaching those PCs because I don't want to lose them. So my whole business is not wrapped up in just getting, signing up. I would rather sign up less people and retain them than sign up hundreds of people and lose them all, which I see a lot of people do. So there's some people that are really good at signing people up. And you would be surprised, my first year I did have a lot of PCs, but I actually don't sign up very many people. But I keep the people I have, and I really turn them into leaders. So I would say PC goal, definitely at least 1 a week, 2 to 3. I'm not Tracy Winkman. And then associates, I need to get better at that. I haven't been great. I had an associate last week and coached her. I mean, she's gone silver. So associates would be 2 a month. Yeah, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I don't know, Jordan Kimber always said, do you want to take care of 12 babies all at once? I mean, it is. It's like you've got this brand new person, and so I feel like if I sign up tons of people that, you just make sure you can take care of them and train them effectively if you're going to be signing up a lot of people. But I want to share this real quick. This is something I shared at Sweet Retreat. And I always talk to people that when I'm teaching my team or educating their expectations, I say it's kind of like especially you moms or maybe you guys who like playing with Legos. Shh, don't tell anybody, right? But you're like, you start putting a Lego, say your kid comes to you and they have 3 little Lego pieces and they're like, Mom, look what I'm making. And you're like, what is it? And that's a lot of times how people will treat you with your business. Like you'll get 3 customers in your business, and that's what you got right now. Maybe 1 associate and you're like, yes, my business is going. But to everyone else, it doesn't look like a lot. And maybe to you, it doesn't look like a lot. But what you can see, you have to have that vision. And so I say some people, I think this is going to be in the next catalog because she asked me if she could use my quote. I'm like, make sure you explain what I was saying. But some people want to build a big princess castle or whatever the guys have that's big. And, they want to make $1 million. And then there's other people in your business that just want to build a little barn that goes with the castle. And that's fine. Maybe they just want to make $20,000 a year. So you got to coach your people and know where do you want to go, at least what are your goals right now, and those goals can change. But also be able to see when you just have those 3 PCs or just those associates, and each month you're setting those goals, to know that every customer you have, every associate you have is going to add up to make your princess castle or your barn or whatever it is you're trying to make. And that's what happens is I think your first year is kind of you got those 2 little pieces kind of going together, and it doesn't really look like much, but then all of a sudden you start to see the building, you start to see the shape of it take place. So I don't know if that visual helps y'all at all, but I work with a lot of moms, and so I always use that to kind of explain that to them. And I think it's good to have those goals each week, but I think to also realize that goes back to if you're going to have an associate every week or 2 associates every week or whatever it is that you want your goal to be, you got to have your funnel really full to make sure that, because like you said, somebody could take 6 months to enroll. Some of you it may take a year. Not everyone's going to say yes the first time you talk to them. So just make sure you're keeping that funnel full and working on your weekly action plan with that. So sorry, that was a long answer.
No, that was a great answer. And Jason texted me back. He said, thank you very much. And he loves your response.
Okay.
Yes. And I was taking notes again, keeping, know your people, know their goals. Every client and associate will add up. And that's what will put together.
And really, I think just really work on retention. I think the problem people face and the discouragement And it happens. We're going to lose people. There's going to be attrition. Okay. I don't keep everybody I have, but don't measure your success by how many people you sign up. A successful business means that you're keeping your people, you're keeping your customers, and then they're bringing people to you. So they're either becoming referral partners, they're joining your team. Half of my team were my customers first. So it's really, really important that it's not a numbers game. These are actual people that you're working with, and that you coach them up, help them reach their goals, go above and beyond, because it's more about the quality than the quantity, right? So again, you got to keep them. And so less can sometimes mean more if you keep them and they buy in and they join your team too. Right?
Absolutely. Love it. Well, Lindsay, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your time. And, I know you have a family, you have things going on, but really your presence made a big difference to our team tonight. We have a lot of people that are on this webinar texting me how happy they are, the things that they learned from you. So I just want to have everybody unmute the lines, and we're going to end the webinar by everyone saying thank you, Lindsay, and good night. God bless.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Lindsay. We appreciate you.
Well, y'all are very sweet. Thank you so much, and just keep believing in yourself. And like you've heard before, do not quit. I posted that on my Facebook page this week. Go back and find it. Do not quit. I almost quit. Do not quit, because you can all be successful if you don't quit and you're consistent. So just keep going even when it feels like it's not going to work, because it will. It will. And you'll get those leaders on your team and you'll go, oh my gosh, I didn't even know these people when I first started my business. So keep going. Don't give up. You have a great leader in Jared and his parents and everybody. So thanks for having me, y'all.
Thank you, Lindsay. We appreciate it.
Okay. Good night.
All right, everybody, go ahead and say good night and God bless. And thank you, Lindsay. We're unmuting the lines.
Good night.
Good night.
My dad's the one who's doing all the
Yeah, can you hear me, Jared?
I can, yes.
Is that my screen kind of froze up? I've got everyone unmuted, but I'm not sure that they are for sure.
Yeah, their speakers might not be on too. Don't worry. I can feel the love. I really do. I feel it.
Oh, that's excellent.
Y'all have a good night. Thank you.
Okay,
Nice
thank
to meet
you, Lindsay.
you.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.